Hi, today's video is all about moderation in your diet and does it work? So I want to talk a little bit about moderation in your diet because it's something that is often mentioned whenever a diet's talked about. Someone pipes up, someone with a smug face normally, it's like, but it's all about moderation, guys. It's just about eating more good food, less bad food, and just moderating, what you're doing. The problem with that is, I think that works in a utopian world where people can do that effectively, but in the real world, it doesn't really work. So in my experience with, I would say, at least 90% of my clientele, that moderation rule in terms of just telling people to eat better doesn't have an effect on people's body composition. So when you give people very loose rules, they follow them very loosely. What's much more effective is having a strict set of rules in your diet. And in terms of what I do with my clients, it does vary from individual to individual. In my own experience, in what I've done, I found that all of the diets I've experimented with have worked. That's intermittent fasting, that's calorie tracking using calorie tracking apps like MyFitnessPal, keto diet, paleo diet, and even right now we're doing no booze, no sugar challenge, the no BS challenge. That is also working effectively. Now they all work, which means that effectively they're all good diets. But what works for you depends on your lifestyle. So really, in terms of how you want to sort of try it out, what lifestyle you have, it might be that a lot of those diets maybe don't work if you're a vegan or vegetarian. It might be difficult for you to sort of go full paleo, or definitely keto could be quite tricky. So you have to make those decisions based on your lifestyle, or you can seek a professional to help you out, like myself. But the key thing with all of those diets, and any diet really, is that it's much clearer or stricter in what you can and cannot eat, or what portion sizes you can and cannot eat. Calorie tracking, obviously, you've got a limit in terms of what calories you should be having. It's the same on if you meet your macros, so that was the same if you're looking at sort of a certain percentage or a certain amount of carbohydrates, a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of fats. Very strict, very clear, easy to follow rules. And when people have those rules, it's much easier to stick to them. If you know that your diet, say for example, in a diet you can't eat bread, one of the things you're going to cut out your diet, then there's no sort of maybe I'll just have a little bit of bread and try and cut down the amount I'm having. It's just you're not going to eat bread. Very easy to follow. The advantage of having strict diets and being a bit more strict in terms of what you're eating is that you will get results. And you will get results the more obvious. When you kind of moderate your food and moderate your diet and make small changes, you don't tend to get results. Or if you do, they're very small and they're very slow. And I know people say, well, you're looking for a slow weight loss because that is what will stay off. The reality is that if someone has insignificant results, they won't be motivated to continue with that diet. It's the same with someone's training. If they have insignificant results with their training, they're not going to be motivated to continue the training. That's why with the personal training and with the CrossFit style training, we always have trackable results so people can see significant changes. And it should be the same with nutrition. If you see your body fat dropping, your waist size reducing, your weight dropping, or if you're trying to gain muscle or you're gaining size, if you see that, and if you can see that on a regular basis, then you're going to be much more motivated to continue on that journey. So it's important that your diet does give you, especially in the first few weeks, significant results. So I think it's really important that you choose, if you're making a change, you choose something that's significant, that you're going to see a significant change in. Now, if the diet you're on isn't giving you significant results, then there's obviously something wrong with the diet, with the way you're doing it, or whatever, so you need to make a change there. So I always think with, especially something like calorie tracking, although you can work out what your percentage is, you can have a look and you can say, okay, body fat is this percentage, this is your weight, your height, the age, and you can say this is your number of calories you should be eating each day. Well, if you do that and over 2 or 3 week period, you have no change in your body composition and you've been strict with it, you've been weighing your food, you've been following it really, really strictly, then there's obviously an issue there with that number of calories isn't bringing you the change. So maybe you need to look at the macro balance, or maybe you need to just look at the calories, you just think, okay, maybe my metabolism isn't what the calculation comes out with. Maybe it's slightly slower, and they've done plenty of studies on people in hyperbolic chambers where they've tested people's metabolic rate, and it isn't an exact science in terms of if you put in the formulas that you find online with your body fat and with your height, and you won't necessarily be burning those calories at rest. And obviously when you're doing those calculations, you're calculating an average of how much activity you're putting in as well. So the calorie calculations you get aren't an exact science, so you do have to suck it and see a little bit to make changes. But whatever you do, you need to be tracking those changes and seeing results. If you're not seeing results, that's when you need to make a change. You don't just think, oh, it must just be me, it must be impossible for me to lose weight. That's not true. It just means that you need to make changes, you need to tweak. So when it comes to changing your body composition, what I'm trying to say is moderation just doesn't really work for most people. Now, you might be the exception, and if you want to walk around and send me a smug message and say, oh, it works for me, that's fine. Okay, send me a lovely message. But otherwise, find a diet that will work for you. Track the progress. If you're getting progress, stick with it, and you probably be more likely to because you'll be motivated. If you're not getting progress, don't just give up, make changes to it. If you need any help, please drop me a message. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to the channel and check me out on Facebook.